I don't hear you. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. How come on? Let's get on the video, buddy.
Yeah, on a video.
Okay, so what
I
do you
see you, man. You're at your office, though.
Yeah, I know. I need more of a life. Hey, what do you mean you don't know what are you missing? You wrote on my last post. What am I missing?
I responded to you.
Oh, well, what'd you say?
Just a sec. I'm operating off like 5 devices here right now because I'm posting about Terry Bradshaw. Hold on a sec here. Terry Bradshaw's coming back to my neighborhood here. Let me see here. Hold on a sec. Let me finish that one. Yeah.
You got a lot of responsibility.
Oh, dude.
Well, look at that. We came on live quick.
But anyway. Yeah. But yeah, well, yeah, what I said is the only thing that's really missing, well, it isn't about common sense. It's about power, influence. You can probably wrap that up in politics too. Have a little politics in there, and sometimes it's about money. So
Well, so
a lot of these people, they are motivated by the right things, right? You're trying.
yeah, I know, and I can't take it anymore. The
that's obvious. But I mean, I kind of, that's why I kind of was posting on some of your stuff. You say, hey, man, what would it take to keep, young people here and what have you? I just don't think the economic opportunity is there for the majority of people that aspire to make money and live well, unless you're a business owner in the community there, right? If you're a self-made person, got your own business.
Okay, so you want to hear the hypocrisy of the whole thing?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. The hypocrisy of the whole thing is that at the end of the day, I can just let it all go completely.
Yeah.
Completely. I was telling Bianca, I go, I'm proud of you for going to Kansas City and getting settled in and getting acclimated. And so she goes back 7 generations in Kansas City, Kansas. And we're from there on the Bantleon side.
Yeah, why do you keep calling her Bantleon? Anyway?
Because that's her middle name.
Oh, okay. I got it now.
Yeah. Bianca Bantleon.
You keep talking about her. I go, Bantleon. I go, what the hell? You should change her name? You pissed her off or what?
Oh, no. She likes being called Bantleon, too.
Yeah.
As a kid.
It's a known name. Yeah.
Yeah, as a kid, she, when I said Bianca Bantleon, she knew she better snap too. But so the hypocrisy of the whole thing is, this is a lot safer than living in Los Angeles. I wasn't.
I agree with that.
I wasn't going to raise her in L.A. And
yeah, I knew that.
And so this is like, to me, this is really like Mayberry. But just don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining.
Yeah.
And I've got
the problem is you have a lot of, how many of those people that are in the establishment there, whether it's city council, in the municipal group and whatever, P&Z and all these guys, right, all guys and gals, how many of them are from the area or transplants from a larger metropolitan area?
I don't know. I don't know the exact number, like person by person. I think, like, if I went through city council, I would say, let's just say 50% are natives.
Yeah, I would think there's more than that, because the city council is typically, you got to have some local dirt under your fingernails. Be a local that's been there for a while, somewhat established, understands things, understands the history of the community and the city and what have you. I think that's the real.
Well, like one of the county,
you got to bring.
I think 2 of the county commissioners aren't from Topeka. 2 out of 3.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, once you reach that level, those folks are really kind of like political people. Commissioners. I mean, yeah, they come up through the ranks, could be local, but you can have an outsider come in if they're politically connected or have political influence.
Well, and here's one thing.
They can get those positions.
This is one thing I want you to know as a friend, is the guy that runs Go Topeka is a successful businessman, and he's a good guy. I mean, I don't hate him. You know what I mean? And
I don't, yeah.
So it's not sour grapes, but what I'm getting at is he wouldn't run his own company like that, so don't spend our tax dollars that way. So
I agree.
If you're the shepherd of our tax dollars, and I've got every right as a taxpayer to speak up. In fact, it's my duty to speak up.
But you got to find more than one voice. I mean, that's the point. It sounds like you're one guy bringing these points up.
I made that point in that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But Tucker Carlson.
Oh yeah.
I'm no Tucker Carlson, but he says you just got to keep talking and just keep telling the truth, and never give up and smile.
I think what I would do if I was back at Topeka and didn't like what was going on, I would build a groundswell of support, and that's through a network of people that I would know or people that I transacted with in the business world and or want to have a relationship with.
No, you're right, and the groundswell's got to come from the real estate industry.
I'm not sure.
I've got to engage.
I think they're one stakeholder. The real estate industry is one stakeholder.
No, because what's happened is the government is in the real estate business, and we got to kick them out.
Well, the problem that I see is what's missing in a lot. When you talk about jobs, let's talk about jobs. You talk about opportunity for people that grow up in Topeka, go to school in Topeka, settle down there. It's a great place. You're right. It's like Mayberry. In my mind, it still reminds me of Mayberry.
It is fucking Mayberry.
And after you've done what I've done and what I've been, you want to find Mayberry, because and then I've got ties there and roots there, so that the artifacts that I have, the breadcrumbs of life that I've left there, are still important. But if you think of a great place to land, what I think would draw people to Topeka is if they're going to have a business and want to, I think, find an area to plant that business, as long as it's borderless, meaning that it's doesn't have to. It could be anywhere to survive.
No, you're right, and that's a good point. It doesn't need Topeka.
Right.
The company that comes here doesn't need Topeka. It's coming here because of the Mayberry factor.
That's right. It's the quality of life. It's low taxes. And frankly, it isn't about, a lot of infrastructure, quite frankly. I mean, you keep talking about this parkway thing going through there.
No, I'm done with that. I'm done with the parkway.
People that see that shit come through near their...
They can stick the parkway right up their ass.
Yeah, exactly right. So they're going to want it, right? So, but anyway.
But what I want to do,
I just don't think they need to spend some money to attract businesses to Topeka.
our water, yeah, well, you do it by just making Topeka nice. You know, our water infrastructure is 100 years behind.
Well, you give them tax incentives is what you do.
No, yeah, well, yeah, and so, but what I'm getting at is, you do it on a deal by deal basis.
I agree.
You engage every real estate person to get their network up and going, and commercial, residential, any developer. So you engage the community, and what you do is you got to make Topeka what you want it to be.
Well, you know, that's what we experience where I live, and that's what we experience here in Texas. So our governor and our legislator and our state representatives, they work to recruit, I would say, appropriate companies to move to Texas. In some cases, they recruit them to move to, you know, our local area for jobs, for tax benefits and what have you. And the way they do that is with tax incentives and all kinds of things. And they're coming here in droves. Not that, you know, Texas is not a bad place to be, but, you know, when you compare where some of these companies are coming from, because they're avoiding the high taxes and what have you in the areas they're at, whether it's LA, California, anywhere in California, they're coming here. And so I think the benefactors of all that is the realtors, commercial, residential. They are the benefactors if the community and the government, the local government, is working to attract good business enterprises to Topeka.
And so what I'm telling you right now is that it's to get the conversation going with the whole city. So the one percenters have decided what Topeka's going to be, and it's not turned into it.
That's why people need to vote them out. You know?
No, the politics, the body politic, you're right. And we've got way too much government in Topeka. Think about it. We've got...
Well, the state capital's there by nature.
Well, okay.
That's like a cancer.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't, but I'm saying your local municipality, local government should have advocates for ambassadors trying to attract new business to Topeka. That will bring all the rest of what you're talking about.
We just got to broaden the network. And let me tell you one thing about my life. One of the best cities I ever lived in was Reno.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
No, I lived in LA, but I lived in Reno. My friends in Reno didn't even know that I really lived in LA.
Okay.
I traveled like a ping pong ball. If I needed a haircut, I'd go up to Reno.
Is that the only thing you were getting in Reno?
Well, they thought at the pepper mill, they thought I owned them all, and I never told them I didn't.
But anyway, you've landed back to where you're from. You bring a wealth of knowledge, experience, you know, with you, and you're fighting a machine that's just kind of, you know, lost in time. And the only way to really get this going is to have a changeover, and it's a groundswell of support, and it kind of be a Democrat. Be a Democrat. Mobilize a group of people to get these people out of there and find some people that'll be in there working as ambassadors for the community and the municipality.
Do you remember when Republicans and Democrats worked together?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, and the head of the Democratic Party, this gal named Joan Wagner, who's just really, she was one of the most unifying people. I've always loved her. She made me a planning commissioner back in the day. And I get it. I get it. Be a Democrat.
I wonder why Wendy McFarland didn't live long enough to become mayor of, like, Topeka.
Who's Wendy?
Wendy McFarland.
Who's that?
McFarland Farms.
Huh.
You didn't know Wendy?
No.
I went to school with Wendy.
Well, you're older than me.
I know, but Wendy McFarland, Matt McFarland, and all those guys, they got a family restaurant over there somewhere in McFarland Farms.
Oh, well,
That
no.
was
Now that they closed the restaurant, and Deb
I know.
McFarland, who married the restaurant guy, is one of the best realtors in town.
I know, and they developed McFarland Farms there at 10th and it's at 10th across from Gage Park, right?
Yeah,
Remember
I
that?
didn't know they were the developers of that. I just thought it was a
They developed
a quinky
Ken
dink.
Ken Berry lives there with my old English Washburn rural English teacher that married him. He had an affair with her. Ken Berry lived right across the top of the
He had
hill
an affair?
on 47th Street. Yeah.
You got to work in city council. You got to work in the city of Topeka to have all these affairs.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot.
No, the city
you know,
manager,
if-
the old city manager, is banging the help. And
Yeah.
then I found out he had a drug problem, and I started having compassion for the guy. I could relate.
Well, I think you need a turnover, influence a turnover in the structure there. And that can't be one guy just fighting publicly with these guys. I mean, if it's your nature, great, more power to you. But, at the end of the day, it's going to be, I think what these people do, they get the attitude, even if you could get a deal done, it'll be with anyone but Henry McClure, because he's been so vocal, on the net. Yeah,
Well, no, see,
you get,
there's a certain point in time where you can just do transactions. They can't do anything.
all right.
And I did that for years. And part of my recovery was to not deal with the city. And then I got to the point where some of my clients needed me to deal with the city.
Yeah.
But it took 2 years to get a Pizza Hut deal done.
And that's ridiculous.
Well, and so what will
Is it-
happen?
Is it corporate or is it?
No, it was
franchise
through the
side?
city. Oh, no, it was owned by the Flynn Group.
Oh, okay. So
But
just
there'll also come to
group
a point in
that
time-
owns a bunch of franchises. Okay.
It will come to a point in time where you'll have to deal with me because I've got the deal.
Mm.
They've already played the game. They've already played the game. We're not going to deal with Henry. They've already played that game.
Mm.
And I can wear them out now.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, you're still getting fed.
Well, but also, too, here's the nice thing about it is you don't have to deal with Topeka whatsoever.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Hell, I got
Deal with
invited.
proxies.
I got invited to go to another town to go Topeka.
There you go. I don't know. Why don't you pack up and move to Kansas City, man?
No, I like it here. We've got too many roots, and I'm not going to let them run them out of my town.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let them run me out of my town. I'll stay here and throw them all out.
Well, the only advice I would give you, if you'll take my advice, is learn to thread the needle a little bit without them even knowing it, and be a little bit more political. If you be political, it's not too much in your face. Because I can't believe some of the stuff you posted recently. It's like unbelievable, dude. You're like at war. It's kind of like, well, okay, well, you've reached wit's end with these folks, and it's like this ain't gonna end good. But you are who you are. I've always said that, even about myself. You are who you are. You're gonna do it the way you want to do it. But sometimes it's a terrible route to go. But if it's all about politics. But I never play the short game. I always play the long game.
Oh man, I'm playing the long game. I am.
Yeah, but I navigated to avoid the chuck holes and the IEDs, right? Which
Look,
is
I got
a little bit more-
44 years of doing real estate.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is all I know.
Oh, I know. I hear you. One of my friend told me the other day on Facebook, "Hey, how you doing, Sam? Everything going good? Happy birthday," or whatever the hell it was. He's, yeah, I'm doing fine. He's down in Mexicali. He's a old Navy buddy from a long time ago in the Navy. Interesting guy. And he was down there running Bosch's plant or something, their manufacturing plant. Everybody's, cross border. You know that if you live down in California on the manufacturing side. I don't care who it is. They got a plant down there, and they got plant managers. He was a plant manager down there for a long time. He said, "Yeah, I was director of this, VP of that.
Let's turn this
Now
around."
I'm retired and making music." And that's how I knew him. He had a band. He's pretty good. A buddy of mine was in a band with him, but I said, "Well, I'm just still doing what I'm doing. If I had the ability to go write music, I guess it'd be a nice on ramp to go off ramp for my career to go write music. But I really don't have too many other hobbies that would going to keep me that interested besides fly fishing. But so I do what I do. I do what I do, and you do what you do, right? So it's what we know. So
Yeah, but it's time. The time has come now to tell it like it is.
obviously.
Yeah. Well, look, we're at a real crossroads. Look at our country. In order to have democracy, we're going to take a guy off the ballot so you can't vote for him.
Well, don't say we. A few states are trying to take him off the ballot. I don't think the Supreme Court's going to let that happen.
No, I know,
Unless
that's the problem is those people, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, you're never going to get your way. You can't thread the needle with those people.
I think you can. You just got to do it by spending a lot of money and having some attorneys like Trump has to go fight those fights, right?
No, what I'm talking about, a street guy like me. That's the difference. Is the establishment here in Topeka doesn't want to have me on the ballot. So I've got to fight it as a street fighter.
Well, if you got that in your DNA, that's a great thing to have in your toolkit.
Can't you tell?
I like to win.
I like to make deals.
Well, how do you win? You make deals, right? So,
yeah.
Same
You
thing.
just outdeal
I like
them.
to win. Well, it'd be a great place to come back to. Like I said, with 100 acres or so where I could build something and have my prairie grass again.
Hey, look, all I want to do is make sure over my lifetime that Topeka is a nice place for Bianca to want to come back to.
That's a good goal. I think what's really difficult in Topeka, I even knew that when I was there, when I came back and visited, and what I've had relatives that were there. They're all gone now. They've all left. Everybody ends up leaving Topeka at some point. The people that are looking for more, but it's a great place to come back to. Have fond memories in the old neighborhoods we used to live in over there. Your old homestead. Briar's old homestead, Campbell Street, all that. It's pretty fun.
We were on Oakley.
Yeah, I know you were on Oakley. You were on the backside of Campbell, man.
Hey, did you know Jean Tyranny?
I did. Matter of fact, she died down here in Texas.
Think about that. She used to change my diaper.
There you go. That's what happened to her.
My mom used to have coffee with her all the time.
Yeah. I like the place.
Well, look, I want to tell you that I've listened to you, and you're not wrong at all. You're not wrong on one thing that you've said, but it's tough out there.
just, I don't know. You got to find a different way to fight the fight, though. I mean, it's okay doing what you're doing. You just got to find some people to support you in some of those things in a way that makes a difference. And the way to make a difference is actually build a political base that has the same wants and needs that you have, the same vision you have, and get those people out of there. That's the only way to win.
Well, and also, too, what you do is you bring the deal in, and the guys that are up there can't not vote for it because it just makes so much sense.
Well, that too. But sometimes they don't even do the right. I've seen it in my own city elections.
No, I'm talking about
behind the scenes here in my city elections. And they wanted me to run.
No, there's a point in time.
Run.
There's a point in time, no matter who you are, because that's where you start winning out. Because then that creates the groundswell.
But we get the people in there we want to have in there. That's what happens.
Well,
that's how you make it happen.
Yeah.
Until everybody just runs out of gas, and that's what happened here. We have people in city council and the mayor that have no business being on city council and mayor because people got tired. They got tired of, fighting to win and get the right people.
And here's the thing about it is I'm getting more energy, and I'm picking up steam.
Well, as you get older, you don't sleep as much either. You got a lot of time to think, right?
Well, I can get like 6 to 7 hours, wake up feeling great.
Yeah. Well, sorry to hear about Brett. He and I used to play together. He and his sister and me and my sister when they owned Blackburn Nursery over there. Well, their kids, their parents owned it. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Blackie bought it from his family.
Oh, he did. Good for him. Well, they came out there at, was it 29th and something? Did something at 29th and Wanamaker?
Well, that's where they originally were.
Well, I remember that they came out there when I was still living there. It was in Washburn Rural, and it kind of shocked me that they were coming out there. It was like, what was it? It was where's my coordinates? North, west. It was the southeast corner of Wanamaker.
Yeah, that's where they've been forever.
I didn't know that.
They sold that. I actually sold it, and I was going to build a bank there. I got Topeka. Oh man. They tried to squeeze me out of that deal. They had to settle in a lawsuit, and the FDIC didn't get done for 18 months. They fucked with the wrong guy on that one.
Well, my dad owned the corner of 29th. What's the next? 29th. It comes out of the back of Sherwood.
Urish?
Runs down to Topeka Public Golf Course.
Yeah, Urish.
Was that still Urish at that point?
Yeah.
It's continuation of Urish on the other side of the lake. Okay, I didn't remember that. I'd have to look at a map. But my dad owned that corner at the southeast corner of 29th and Urish. He owned that whole frickin', it must have been 3-4 acres. And he tried to manage it remotely. He used to have signs on all kinds of crazy shit, call me, for sale by owner kind of thing. But that he always said, "Oh, it'd be great for a gas station there." I don't even have the slightest idea what's there now. But he sold it cheap, man. He didn't know how to market and how to sell it. But
my grandfather, Clifford Banleon, tried to get my mom, and he was going to give her the money to buy the southwest corner, 100 acres. Of 29th and Wanamaker.
29th and Wanamaker.
Yeah. Across from Blackburn.
Oh yeah.
And
that used to back up, that whole track used to back up to what was the little Allen Airport there.
No. That's 21st and Wanamaker.
That's 21st. That's where the hangars were and everything else, but the runway ran towards that track that you're talking about.
Well, yeah, but 21st to
I don't remember
29th
anything
is.
that was there, quite frankly, besides scrub, and I
Oh.
don't think there was anything built there when I lived there.
I'll make a video tomorrow of your airport.
Oh, I watched it. We used to go down there and take airplane rides all the time, man. It was kind of a weekend thing. We'd go down there and watch the gliders, and you could go up in a little Cessna, go pay for Dad used to take us down there, pay money to take each one of the kids up and fly them around. It was kind of fun. But yeah, I mean, I've lost perspective. And then of course there used to be the horrendous pony farm there. What's the road that comes out the main entrance to
You're talking about the
The lake.
Roundup Club?
well, where Sherwood, the main entrance to Sherwood, remember that it turned into a gravel dirt road across Wanamaker as you're heading, what is that? That's east. And then it ran down there. People used to dump a bunch of shit down there, but it basically curved around, wrapped around, kind of serpentined around that little pony farm back in there. And then that thing dumped off the 29th,
In
on the
Fairlawn.
backside of Burnett's Mound, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it got wiped out during the tornado. I mean, all the ponies got killed and everything else. It was a real, but that was just like, dumping ground zero when we were living there. Sherwood, you could walk down there, find all kinds of shit, just people dumping trash and debris, refrigerators, washers, you name it was going down there. And that was, I guess, turned into a whole fancy little intersection there now with some circular thing. But I remember that whole area, and then the gal that owned the property on the Wanamaker and whatever that street is, main entrance to Sherwood, she owned all that land from that corner back.
Well, just let me know when you want 100 acres. I'll go get it.
As long as it's $4 or $5 an acre, that'd be great. Give me 1950s prices, please. 100 acres would probably do it in there. I've actually been looking at land out by oh my God, I can't even remember those areas out there, but it's where that missile silo property was out
In
out
Dover?
past- I think so. It's out northwest. It would have been Washburn. It would have been southwest of Wanamaker and Washburn rural, over in that area, out that real rural area. I think the closest guy I knew to that, who was the Kaplinger,
He's
was building
dead.
a new house. I know he died. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, but yeah, it's funny. I think about him as a kid. He was living in my room in the house that my parents built there on 47th Street. It's weird, Oh yeah, he had my room on the second floor. It's like I remember him vividly in high school. I think he was 2 years younger than us. I think he was class of 70. Funny kid, interesting kid, but did okay, I guess, based on what I could read.
Well, look,
So,
I think I'm gonna go home for the night. I've had enough.
you need to get out of there, man. It looks pretty miserable to be sitting in your office this time of night.
Yeah, I know. All right, I'm gonna take your advice.
We'll talk to you again.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Catch up with you
All
later.
right, bye.